Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Mission objective detected. Scan detected. Under attack. Scan detected. destroyed. Cargo scoop deployed. Cargo scoop retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Mission objective detected. Scan detected.
A landing pad has been reserved for your arrival. The Alliance welcomes you, Commander. Request approved. Clear to land on pad 2-6.
Landing gear deployed.
Contact. Ignition system shut down. Happy to have you, Commander.
Jasmina Halsey becomes Federal Ambassador. Former President Jasmina Halsey has joined the Federal Diplomatic Corps to become an ambassador to the Alliance. In recent years, Halsey served as an advisor to Prime Minister Mahone, but returned.
Anaconda retracted. You are clear to depart.
The Federation in January to stand as a witness in the Starship One trial. She was a guest of Shadow President Felicia Winters at the Galactic Summit, and both were evacuated back to Mars.
Landing gear retracted.
It was cancelled. At a press conference, Ambassador Halsey said, "Being at the conference reminded me that the political arena is where I belong. My new responsibilities allow me to continue serving the Federation while making use of my experience within the Alliance and hopefully build stronger bridges between the two." Elijah Beck, head of the Alliance Office of Diplomatic Relations, sent this message. Jasmina's level-headed advice has calmed many tense political situations. This is the...
You are clear to plot your own course. We look forward to your return, Commander.
ideal role for a diplomat of her caliber, and I look forward to working with her again. In related news, the Federal Diplomatic
Frameshift drive charging.
Corps confirmed that Ambassador Jordan Rochester had been recalled from duty to be reassigned. Most of the Empire and Federation's embassies in each other's space have been closed since November 3000.
4, 3, 2, 1.
306. ACT requests help to locate missing agent. Pilots Federation alert. Assistance is needed to track down an ACT operative who vanished while on a mission to identify NMLA suppliers. The missing agent is Captain Niam Sutomir of the Imperial Internal Security Service, one of the joint leaders of the Anti-NMLA Intelligence Unit. She was following up on clues resulting from analysis of the 9 Martyrs starport bombings. Senior Agent Tanya Ramirez, a co-leader of ACT, gave this statement. Captain Sutomir and her team were traveling on an Anaconda-class vessel named the Valkyrie. Mission details are scarce as information was compartmentalized for security, but she was investigating a minor faction that may be supplying the NMLA. We know that her ship left the Madrid system on the 24th of March on a heading toward the Marlinist colonies. Captain Castile of the Marlinist Constabulary, on secondment to ACT, arranged a rendezvous that she never reached. So we know the Valkyrie went missing somewhere in between. All commanders in the region are asked to join the search for Captain Sutomir's ship. Our fervent hope is that we find its crew alive, and that they manage to obtain data to help us defeat the NMLA. Medicines delivered for starport bombing survivors. Pilots Federation alert. Safeguard Interstellar has successfully received medical supplies for civilians wounded during the NMLA terrorist attack. The bombing of 9 starports across the Alliance, Empire and Federation left huge numbers of people injured, some with caustic burns due to Thargoid enzymes deployed by the explosives. Noel Beaumont, the aid organization's CEO, announced, "We are immensely grateful to all pilots who brought shipments of basic medicines and advanced medicines. These have been transported directly to the relevant systems where they will be used to ease the suffering of several 100,000 civilians." Safeguard Interstellar confirmed that its partner factions have made rewards available at the 3 systems used as staging areas for deliveries. Pilots can collect from the Paris Ring Brewery at Krylov Ring in the Hebo system, Lavigny's Legion at Mackenzie Relay in the Samir system, and the Duumta Gold Creative Corp at Davis Terminal in the Duumta system. Over the past 2 weeks, emergency services have been concentrated on the 9 damaged starports in the Akana, Alioth, Eotiensis, Gateway, Kamadhenu, Lave, Nanamam, Rhea, and Sol systems. All survivors have been accounted for and repairs are largely completed, mainly due to dedicated support by members of the Pilots Federation. New federal vice president selected. President Zachary Hudson has announced that the new vice president of the Federation is Jerome Archer, replacing the deceased Brad Mitchell. Archer was previously serving as the Secretary of Security. Prior to becoming a congressman, he was a director of the Federal Intelligence Agency and had a long career in law enforcement. His predecessor, VP Brad Mitchell, died in the NMLA bombing of Liqingjiao Station in the Seoul system. The attack also killed several members of the federal cabinet along with many government officials who were attending a meeting at the starport. Addressing a gathering of Congress, Vice President Archer said, "My primary focus in this office will be to increase security throughout the Federation. I vow to build vigilance into the fabric of our society and prevent such atrocities from ever happening again." During the congressional session, President Hudson announced new appointments for other deceased members of the cabinet. He also successfully obtained approval to increase funding for counter-terrorism operations run by ACT and the Federal Navy. Marlinists reject accusations of terrorist links. The Marlinist Parliament has refuted widespread allegations of supporting or concealing members of the NMLA paramilitary group. Fueled by media speculation, many political and military leaders have suggested that the Marlinist colonies should be occupied or destroyed to take revenge for the recent bombings. However, there is no evidence that these systems have any direct connection to the NMLA. First Minister Jenna Fairfax gave this statement to Vox Galactica. "The starport attacks were as sickening and terrifying to us as to the rest of the galaxy. The Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army follows a twisted creed that has no bearing on true Marlinism. We have sent our own intelligence team to join ACT, led by Captain Milo Castile of the Marlinist Constabulary. It is vital that we all work together to NMLA's campaign of terror." There was also a comment from fellow parliamentarian Aaron White. "I understand it's human..."
Norman Peterson, Sierra Kilo Yankee. Stockholm welcomes you to Alliance territory. Fly safely while in and around the starport.
To seek a villain, but we should remember that the neo-Marlinist cause has sound political foundations. The Empire suppressed
Access granted. Preparing for arrival on landing pad 07.
all Republican movements for centuries, imprisoning and executing far more people than those who died in the 9 martyrs. ACT gathers intelligence on the NMLA. The affiliated counter-terrorism unit, formed by all 3 superpowers to combat the NMLA, has launched its investigation. The organization has been working closely with Alliance Interpol,
Scan detected.
the Imperial Internal Security Service, and the Federal Intelligence Agency to collate data on the terrorist strikes against 9 starports. Captain Niam Sutonia, one of ACT's joint leaders, told the media, "Initial forensic results from the target
Please pay heed to Alliance speed restrictions. Slow down.
stations suggest the use of a
Landing gear deployed.
compact bomb designed than in previous attacks, possibly constructed on site. Worryingly, the NMLA's new generation of weapons seem to be easier to transport and conceal. The good news is that a comparison of
Touchdown. Notifying ground crew.
surveillance has revealed one very promising lead. I will personally take a team to follow this up, and we're hoping for an early breakthrough. Inspector Mara Cladd also provided a brief progress report. Our working theory is that the NMLA employs an undetectable interstellar communications system to coordinate its attacks. A similar dark comms network was used by the League of Reparation before we decrypted it, but this version is evidently more sophisticated. We are liaising with local security services to gather evidence. Galactic Mysteries, the NMLA. Private investigators Eric
Incoming message.
Gunnarsson and Francesca Wolf review the neo-Marlinist Liberation
Incoming mission critical message.
Army. Gunnarsson, we don't usually get involved with political cases, but it's hard to ignore the largest terrorist attack in history. The NMLA is a radical offshoot of Marlinism, a democratic movement named after the Republic of Akanar's original ruler, Marlin de Val. Most are peaceful protester types, but neo-Marlinists want to overthrow the government by permanently removing the imperial family. What nobody knows is how the NMLA went from minor troublemakers to interstellar terrorists. The starport bombings last September came from nowhere, and their assassins have killed many imperial bigwigs including Prince Harold de Val. Smart money was on them being funded by Empire's enemies, but now the NMLA treat
Incoming message.
the Alliance and Federation as equal targets. Hitting all three superpower capitals was a hugely symbolic gesture, and should have been impossible. How did they bypass security and plant explosives without detection? Who the hell are these people? Even Wallglass doesn't have a clue.
Incoming mission critical message.
But we won't stop searching. Wolf. Despite my inquiries, and some unauthorized snooping, there's no trace of the rumored NMLA bomb factory in LTT 1935. But it did once exist, because the Empire captured its occupants. Not that they'll admit it. There is no such place as Serene Harbor, right? Well, I've been to RCRA Sector AFAD 423B and seen it myself. It's bleak. Hope-crushing. And yet the NMLA prisoners listed as Theta Group escaped, broken out by what seems like Imperial intelligence double agents. That genuinely scares me. If the NMLA can worm inside the most shadowy security organization in known space, they could be anywhere. And none of us are safe. Medical supplies needed for starport bombing survivors. Pilots Federation alert. Safeguard Interstellar requires deliveries of medicines to treat casualties from the NMLA's recent terrorist attack. The humanitarian aid organization is helping to coordinate relief efforts for the starports in the Alliance, Empire and Federation that were bombed last week. CEO Noel Beaumont announced. Hundreds of thousands of civilians still require urgent medical attention after being evacuated from the damaged stations. Many have severe caustic burns inflicted by the corrosive enzyme payload of the explosives. We have already exhausted the majority of supplies in nearby systems. To reinforce overstretched health services, we request shipments of medicines and advanced medicines. Delivered to 3 starports being used as staging areas: Krylov Ring in the Hebo system, Mackenzie Relay in the Samir system, and Davis Terminal in the Duanta system. Safeguard Interstellar has partnered with 3 local factions, Paris Ring Brewery, Lavigny's Legion, and the Duanta Gold Creative Corp, to reward pilots and distribute the medicines within each superpower. Pilots can provide further help by directly delivering repair materials to damaged starports in the Akanar, Alioth, Eotiensis, Gateway, Kamadhenu, Lathe, Nanomum and Rhea systems. Li Qingjiao Station in the Seoul system remains an active disaster zone, with civilians still requiring evacuation. Anti-NMLA intelligence unit formed. The Alliance, Empire and Federation have created a centralized agency dedicated to investigating and eliminating the NMLA paramilitary group. The new affiliated Counter-Terrorism Unit, or ACT, is a direct result of the Cornelius Lasky Convention, which was signed at the Galactic Summit. This treaty requires the superpowers to share information on any large-scale threats to civilian populations. with a combined death toll rising over 500,000.
Incoming mission critical message.
Recent starport bombings have obtained such status. ACT will be jointly led by the veterans of the Tri-Superpower Task Force that defeated the League of Reparation in 3304, Captain Niam Sutonia of the Imperial Internal Security Service, Inspector Mara Klatt of Alliance Interpol, and Senior Agent Tanya Ramirez of the Federal Intelligence Agency. Captain Sutonia gave a brief statement. ACT is an independent organization dedicated to bringing the NMLA to justice. We will draw resources from Alliance, Empire and Federation security forces and elsewhere. However, we foresee the need for even larger numbers of dedicated personnel. Therefore, we have contacted the Pilots Federation for permission to invite independent pilots to gather information for us when necessary. Pilots are advised that civilians still require transportation from damaged starports in the Anaconda, Alioth, Eotiensis, Gateway, Kamadhenu, Lathe, Nanomum, Rhea and Sol systems. Superpowers respond to 9 Martyrs' attack. Political fallout has been intense after the NMLA simultaneously bombed 9 starports in the Alliance, Empire and Federation. The targeted stations are in the Anaconda, Alioth, Eotiensis, Gateway, Kamadhenu, Lathe, Nanomum, Rhea and Sol systems. These were referred to by NMLA propaganda as the 9 Martyrs, a reference to the attack against Kepler Orbital last November. All 3 superpowers are treating this as a major emergency. Top-level discussions have taken place between their chiefs of security, using communication protocols recently established at the Galactic Summit. However, mainstream media has also reported on internal political tensions. The Imperial Herald, Senator Patrios proposed that all known Marlinists be arrested immediately as NMLA collaborators. He received a direct rebuke from Chancellor Blaine, who said, "Her Majesty views your blunt tactics as having been counterproductive and requires more creative solutions." The Federal Times, President Hudson opened Congress with a minute's silence to honor VP Brad Mitchell and other deceased cabinet members. He then directly blamed Shadow President Winters for their deaths, claiming, "You invited terrorists with your virtue signaling aid program for fake refugees." The Alliance Tribune, the Assembly broadly welcomed Prime Minister Mahone's call for unity against the NMLA and praised his efforts on the Sirius Treaty despite it remaining unsigned. But there was also support for Councillor Kane's viewpoint. Our entry fee for the Galactic Summit was hundreds of thousands of lives. Starport bombing casualties include Federal Vice President Brad Mitchell and a number of federal cabinet members have been killed in a recent terrorist attack on a starport orbiting Earth. The NMLA planted caustic enzyme explosives at the Qingzhou station, where a government meeting was taking place. The VP and cabinet members were confirmed to be among tens of thousands of casualties. 8 other starports across all 3 superpowers were simultaneously bombed. President Zachary Hudson, who was attending the Galactic Summit during the attack, made this statement: "This atrocity is nothing less than a declaration of war, and we will respond accordingly. For now, we mourn the loss of my close friend Brad Mitchell and other heroes of the Federation. I will personally appoint replacements to their positions soon." The Federation has directly accused the Empire of being responsible by allowing neo-Marlinist bomb makers to escape from a secret prison facility. The Imperial Senate reiterated that Serene Harbor does not exist and is part of a federal disinformation campaign. Followers of Marlinism have also received much public criticism. The Marlinist colonies have repeatedly stressed that they do not support the NMLA and are unconnected to the attacks. Independent pilots have been asked to assist rescue and repair operations in the Anaconda, Alioth, Eotiensis, Gateway, Kamadhenu, Lathe, Nanomum, Rhea and Sol systems. Galactic Summit cancelled. NMLA attacks superpowers. The conference in the Sirius system has ended prematurely after terrorist bombings against 9 starports across the Alliance, Empire and Federation. Sirius Corporation confirmed that the cancellation was due to fears that Patterson Enterprise Station may be the next target. All scheduled business, including finalizing the Sirius Treaty, has been halted. The delegations are returning to their home systems under high security. Temporary permits for the Sirius system will remain in place for 1 week. Pilots who contributed to the security and trade initiatives held in partnership with the Empire can collect their rewards at the Spirit of Laylabs. Core Dynamics, Gutermeyer and Lakon Spaceways will continue to offer a 10% discount on all their ships for 1 more week. The Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army has claimed responsibility for the simultaneous attacks in 9 systems, including superpower capitals Anaconda, Alioth and Sol. The following message was broadcast on NMLA propaganda channels. I no longer have a name, nor a family, nor a future, each taken by the Empire. Now all I have is the dehumanizing number printed on my uniform in their torture chambers. Now all I am is Theta 7. The Alliance and Federation's rulers have revealed themselves as imperialist supporters of the Duval dynasty, which has crushed our ideals for 1,000 years. Peoples of the galaxy, you can change this. We give you your own 9 martyrs. Use them to retake control and regain your power. Media news feeds are detailing the impact and implications of the attacks. There is speculation that NMLA activists were concealed among Marlinist refugees that fled to Alliance and Federation space to escape Imperial persecution. The Marlinist Parliament has officially stated it has no connection to Neo-Marlinist extremists, and that it will cooperate with security and emergency services during this crisis. 9 starports hit by terrorist bombings. Pilots Federation alert. Explosions have struck starports across the Alliance, Empire and Federation in a coordinated bombing attack by the NMLA. The capital systems of all 3 superpowers, Anaconda, Alioth and Sol, have been targeted by the terrorists, as well as 6 other high-population systems. Precise casualty numbers are unavailable, but several 100,000 people have been killed with many more injured. There are urgent calls for independent pilots to rescue survivors and support repair operations at all 9 locations. Dawes Hub in the Anaconda system, Donaldson in the Alioth system, Dublin Citadel in the Gateway system, Han Gateway in the Nanomum system, Ito Orbital in the Rhea system, Lathe Station in the Lathe system, Liqingjiao in the Sol system, Parkinson Dock in the Eotienza system, Shajan Market in the Kamadhenu system. The explosive damage to each station is consistent with corrosive enzyme weapons previously used by the NMLA. This has triggered automated systems designed to respond to Thargoid assaults. The Alliance Defense Force, Federal Navy and Imperial Navy are on full alert. Other military and security forces across the core systems are preparing for possible further attacks. The Galactic Summit has been temporarily suspended while Alliance, Empire and Federation leaders respond to the emergency. A full lockdown is in effect in the Sirius system, where the scheduled bounty hunting and trade initiatives have been cancelled. Galactic Mysteries. The Adamastor. Eric Gunnarsson and Francesca Wolf, 2 detectives from the Wall Glass Investigations Agency, examine the background of the Adamastor megaship. Gunnarsson. When Wolf and I started this project, we knew this case would come first. We're both protégés of Benjamin Chester, creator of the Wall Glass Archive. He retired years ago, but that old spark kicked in when a ghost ship turned up on his doorstep. The Adamastor is a 200-year-old derelict that drifted into the Chukchan system on autopilot. It's still there, with the Alliance Salvage Guild poking through its guts. Chester investigated its owners, a super-secretive company called Azimuth Biochemicals. We don't know what they were searching for, but what they found was possibly the first recorded Thargoid encounter. I've since tracked down evidence that the Adamastor had a sister ship, the Hesperus, which in 3113 was sent to somewhere. Neither ship returned, but we only know what happened on the Adamastor mission. Of course, Wolf had to go see that with her own eyes. Wolf. Muscadark Region PJPB61 is a busy system nowadays, but was unexplored when Professor Carver's survey team were there. Listening to their logs from 2 centuries ago while examining the research base was chilling. Ghost voices from a ghost ship. There was evidence of blast scars, but I've seen enough battlefields to know what exchanged gunfire looks like. Azimuth's mercenaries weren't just firing at Thargoids, but at someone who shot back with laser rifles. Gunarsin tells me Azimuth was swallowed up by a rival called Pharmasapien. Did they infiltrate the Adamastor and try to take over? Or did the thing that Carver captured drive everyone insane? This is a seriously cold case, even for us. But maybe one day, more tantalizing clues will emerge. And that's what we live for.